Gad, what is it? It's a motor car. Motor car?
Hello, Internet dwellers, and welcome back to Top Shelf Disney Animation Studios Library, the show where we watch old Disney movies and we talk about them every week. I am one of your two co-hosts. By the way, TC, we also started.
Oh, good. I didn't think we had started because you kind of got through it without any hiccups.
That's true. That's true. That was just the run through. That was the rehearsal. Yeah. To get the perfect one out of the way, and now I'll actually go and I'll do it again, and I'll mess it up.
Oh, okay. We'll do it live.
Let's do it live, everybody. Welcome back to the show, everybody. More movies.
I'm TC.
That's TC. That's TC over there. And I unformally. English is my 12th language, apparently. I informally introduce you every time before I introduce you, TC. I think that's my thing.
It's cool.
It's kind of what I do.
It's like a living embodiment of a cold open. Like just jumping right in, and then someone new is like, "Who are these weird people?" And then, "Oh, by the way, I'm TC. That's Jeff. This is the show."
I feel like part of that right there, TC, was in response to the fact that I didn't properly introduce us.
You did a great job. You did great.
Oh, okay, good. Oh, I mean, I always do a great job. I don't ever not do a great job, right? So
we are back to discuss more. I'm not answering.
Oh
no! You're great. You're great. You are.
But you have to answer first before you continue.
Oh boy, occasionally I like to. It's one of these things where you can mess with people by not completing a sentence because there is something really uncomfortable. Yeah, that silence right there. Now, granted, we're going over the internet, so you might have been like, "Did we lose the connection?" But no, doing that in person is hilarious because having an unfinished statement for whatever reason is like this unanswered telephone where it's like, just say something,
please. Everybody becomes Woody Allen for some reason and starts begging people to complete their thoughts.
It'd be good. It'd be quite good if you would just reach a punctuation mark at the end of the sentence, just a period or a question mark, maybe an exclamation point. And that turned into Jerry Lewis. So
it did very quickly turned into Jerry Lewis. But you know what? I'm okay with this.
You're okay with it. I knew you would be. And if we're speaking of cadences, is there anyone more calming and relaxing in a certain sort of way of speaking? Mr. Bing Crosby.
You know, and Bing Crosby, and we're getting into talking about the movie, but Bing Crosby's voice as the narrator for a like Halloween like scary story doesn't really fit.
No, it doesn't.
Because he puts you in this lull of calm and just kind of like security.
You can see him in his cardigan, puffing on his pipe, just legs crossed, sitting on an armchair, like, why don't you sit back and I'm going to tell you a horrifying story about a man with no head who murdered a crazy-looking, crane-looking man.
Smash cut to his children, bug-eyed, jaw-dropped, scared and crying. Why, Mr. Bing?
Mr. Bing? Mr. Bing. That's right, children. Even though I'm your father, I demand you call me Mr. Bing.
I don't know why I'm like, they're going to call him Mr. Crosby. That doesn't make any sense. So we did, okay, real quick, let's introduce the movie.
What did we watch? Right?
TC, we watched the final, more or less, package film.
Thank God.
You have no idea how happy I am that we're done with the series of package films.
Yeah.
But we watched the final one, the film from 1949, The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad.
Yeah, that's right. We have reached the end of this. Is movie number 11, but
number 11. Yep.
Now, I tried to give this a fair shake. I went into this like, okay, let's ignore the fact that I'm tired of these package movies, but that's not necessarily a bad way to approach this film in terms of being sick of them, because the movie-going audience had to do it this way. Now, granted, they had year or so apart between these films, and they weren't
not a week.
Weeks apart.
But just look how fast we got through it. I mean, if they had to go 8 years or whatever between the packaged films, excuse me, or like 6-7 years, we only had to go like a month.
Yeah, but I will say I am glad that we have reached the end of this era of the Disney movies. That these are not Disney classics. We've established that just on the fact that so many of them are A, hard to find, or B, people haven't even heard of them.
Right.
I do think that this one, though, probably of all the packaged films, has the most notoriety to it because Mr. Toad's Wild Ride is at Disneyland, and every girl wants Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. And the Sleepy Hollow restaurant, that is from Mallrats. A mediocre film at best.
You're going to get some crap for that later, TC.
I'm trying to get people to comment. There we go. And Sleepy Hollow is there. Well, there's the Sleepy Hollow restaurant at both Disneyland and Walt Disney World. Mm-hmm. But Sleepy Hollow, being this Halloween classic, has popped up time and again over the course of just since it's been created. This movie has not been re-released in any theatrical capacity, and if they do air it, they air it separate from each other. If I'm correct.
You are correct, sir. You are correct, because it was in 1955 that they separated these two films out. They took this movie and they split it in half, and they released it as The Wind in the Willows, which was Mr. Toad's segment, and then The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. And they've never been like together really, unless it's, unless you are specifically watching The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. Otherwise,
actual film,
right? Otherwise, 90% of the time there's two separate. Which is like I said, for me, I have seen The Legend of Sleepy Hollow dozens of times. It's part of my Halloween viewing, but only ever as its own, like its standalone thing. I was never aware for the longest time that story was part of was part of a film, like a longer film. It'd be like only watching Mickey and the Beanstalk and only thinking, no, that was just like a 30-minute short, and that's all that it's ever been, right?
Not knowing that Bongo was in there too.
Exactly, and like I have seen The Wind in the Willows part. I've seen Mr. Toad's part of this for a school day back in like elementary school or something like that. We went to another school and watched it. I don't know why. It was a weird thing.
That's odd.
Yeah, isn't it? It's like, we're gonna go watch this short no one ever cares about or no one ever sees. That's the one we're gonna watch, not like Beauty and the Beast or Aladdin or anything like that, which had been out already.
Yeah,
it was kind of young. But anyways,
so you had not seen? No, you just literally said you have seen it before.
I have seen it before. So now we're back in that era where because on the last couple ones, I hadn't really seen those shorts or knew anything about them. This one, I have seen both of these in separate capacities, but never as one single long film.
Okay.
So that was what I was trying to figure out, like how they were going to present this. Was there a connection between the two of them? Was it just two separate stories, like the rest of the package films?
It's the loosest of connections here. It's like, we're in a library. Hey, British guy, why don't you read this book? And Bing, why don't you take it over there and read about the other one over here?
It's such a drastic change when they switch too. Like, it's so crazy.
Well, what did you think of Mr. Toad here? Mr. Toad's Wild Ride is the name of the Disney ride, but that's... So just Wind in the Willows, Mr. Toad, this section of the film. What did you think of this piece?
So it was very interesting because you can tell that this one that it was based on a longer story. You can tell that it was meant to be a much like a feature length film, which it was. It was supposed to be a feature length, but war, and they cut stuff out and just made it shorter. You can tell because there is so much ground that gets covered in its portion. Yeah. It's because it starts off with them meeting Mr. Toad. You have basically like the Sherlock and Watson. That's what I'm what I'm calling them, Rat and
Rat
Mole.
and Mole, right?
Mole. Like you have those two characters, and then they get introduced to Mr. Toad, and then Mr. Toad, introduces the concept of being the crazy car, and then we introduce the concept of the weasels, and then we introduce and then because you know what, guys, I don't know if you know this, TC, but nothing says Disney classic children's stories like a flippin' courtroom drama. 15 minutes into it, I'm like, this is just where's this? It's a courtroom drama all of a sudden.
Yeah, this feels like we were discussing before we started recording. There's video like the Nostalgia Critic or Cinema Sins where they basically recap an entire film in 15 minutes.
Right.
And Mr. Toad's Wild, I keep calling it that. the Wind in the Willows section here feels like a narrated synopsis of a 2-hour film or an hour and a half film.
Right.
And
because you go from that courtroom stuff, and then it's immediately like, oh, they have to get the deed back from the tavern owner, and now it's this like madcap adventure sneaking into the house and fighting the weasels. Like, it's so quickly just changed into this new direction, and there doesn't seem to be. There's not like a real build in that direction. It's just kind of, we know have to do this, and now we're doing this for the next 10 minutes. Like it feels like a sudden turn.
Right, and because it's so shortened, you've said it. There's very clearly a full feature film here that we didn't get to see, and I wish we had, because Toad is a jerk, and I'm not rooting for him. He's supposed to be this lovable rogue of a character, and you can I don't know what your opinion is on him as a character, Jeff, but myself, I wasn't rooting for him. He was just this windbag. He just
right.
I felt bad for his friends,
and he's so overly confident that he's gonna get off. Like there's when he's in the courtroom and he's so
smug.
He's so smug, like he's basically walking out the door of the courtroom because he's assuming he's gonna get off, and then they reveal no, the tavern owner is like, he tried selling me a stolen car, and that's when all crap goes. Now,
to be fair, he only told the truth. Even though Toad was kind of this wild, carefree jerk, he was speaking the truth. And therein lies the problem where I wish this was feature length, because that would allow for enough character development to care about the characters.
Right.
As it stands, Mole is my favorite character because with all his nonverbal communication, he's so cute, and he has so much. There's so much about him physically that physical He's a cute kid. He's a cute character.
TC, I think you're reading my notes, because my note exactly says Mole is easily one of my favorite characters as of this time.
He's
innocent,
he really
kind,
was
caring, doesn't seem to have a bit of mean in his body.
Yeah, he was a really cute little character. But had we more time to spend with Toad and Rat and Badger, I might have cared more. But as it stands, he has no redemption in the end. He goes on his journey, and he just goes right back to where he was. And there's certainly stories that return to status quo in the end, but a character changes. In the best stories, a character goes through a journey, returns home, and is changed. And I don't feel like Toad learned a darn thing.
No, because he went through all of that, and then he ends up getting the deed back to his land or his manor or whatever, and it's like, oh yeah, now he's well off, and he probably went out and stole another car, he got
a plane instead.
Yes, there you go. So
now here's the thing: he didn't steal the car, but he did steal a train.
True. Do you think they ever tried him for the stealing of a train? I feel like
it was all in pursuit of justice. I stole that train to prove I didn't steal that car.
It's like, that makes sense, I guess? Question mark. I do want to say one thing, and this was kind of my first thought. There's a couple things here, but my first thought was that the style and the look of at least Mr. Toad, and definitely when it goes into the Sleepy Hollow segment as well, the look of this, the animation style and the tone of this I feel like is very much so one step away from where we're going to be at with like Cinderella and Peter Pan. Like you can see Disney at this point has been like, okay, here's how we're animating stuff now.
Yeah, the backgrounds stood out to me first. That they felt like what I remember Cinderella looking like, and some of the movies we're about to see, the way they did the matte paintings for the backgrounds of the environments, of the manner, of the locations that they played in. It felt like, well, even the characters themselves, the style of that animation was reminiscent of, we won't see it for a while, but Great Mouse Detective or DuckTales.
Yes. Yep.
That the anthropomorphic animals feel like classic Disney characters.
Right. And it was kind of funny. Like I was about 10 minutes into this one, and I was just sitting there going, yeah, this is what I remember Disney being. Like, I guess like old school Disney, this is what I remember it looking like. And, you know, much like what you said, maybe we're wrong. Maybe it's not exactly like this, but you can see it. It's a definite shift. It's a definite change in the style and the way that they approach it compared to just the last handful of ones that we've watched. I don't know if that's just because, hey, we're out of the war now and we have more time, or
that's certainly it. The resources had returned. So though the 4 previous films we've seen with Fun, Fancy, Free, Melody Time, Make My Music, and, well, I guess those 3, this is the 4th one. They had good quality to them for shorts. This one has a little more feature film looking quality to it.
Right.
But there's still some shortcomings. Now, I feel like we're criticizing the hell out of this thing, but there are...
That's what we're here for, TC.
The sound design. So I don't know, maybe it was just the version I was watching, but there was like missing sound design moments where only the key sound effects were in the Toad section in particular. I noticed where you hear the book bang on the table when Badger throws something down, but then you don't hear anything hit the ground around it or the fluttering of papers. There was I know it's a weird thing to pinpoint, but it jumped out at me that the sound design felt incomplete.
So they almost did kind of like a minimalistic sound design, or they did just the like the bare necessity sound design. No future pun intended. I see into the future. No, but I really hope people understand that was a Jungle Book reference. I hope.
I would hope anyone listening to this cast is aware of the bare necessities as a Disney thing.
You know, there's a part of me that's like, well, maybe someone's not going to get that. Okay, doesn't matter. Anyways, I could see that. Maybe they were still. Ooh, man, I'm sorry. I just banged into my microphone. Maybe they were still limited on the sound aspect of their production crew. Maybe they got a lot of their animators back, but just didn't have enough time to do a proper sound mix.
The sound department,
it's hard to say, I guess.
Yeah, it was just something that struck me as odd that it felt incomplete at times. But there's a couple of the things of note here. I enjoy the weasels because
yes. Roger Rabbit.
This has to be the inspiration for the weasels from Roger Rabbit, right?
It has to be. Like half of them, like a couple of the characters look like the weasels from Roger Rabbit. Like you could see where they heavily lifted like their clothing choices and like, you know, just the way that they acted and moved. You can tell like these have to be what the weasels are based off of. I don't know what other Disney film it would be based on.
That's one of the credits to Who Framed Roger Rabbit is the amount of detail that they went into that film, the design of the film. Jeff, I sent you a video recently, like earlier last week. Did you happen to watch it, the Roger Rabbit one?
Yes, I did, actually. Yes.
It's Captain Christopher, I believe, is the YouTube essayist, and he does really, really wonderfully, visually stunning essays about the history of Superman or the X-Men, and he did one about Who Framed Roger Rabbit that shows the amount of detail that went into that film. I know this is not a Roger Rabbit review section, but the weasels clearly are the inspiration for the what's the name of that group? The judges.
Doom Patrol?
Toon Squad. The Toon Squad. Yeah.
Wait. Yes.
It's a squad of sorts that has 2 O's for the first word. We don't know if it's Doom or Toon.
I think it's It might be okay. I don't want to look it up because that'll just take way too long for me to try to figure it out. Anyway, but yeah, it's crazy that like you feel like it's a deep cut, like for Roger Rabbit, real quick, that they would pull from the weasels from this movie of all films. But either way, it's still kind of cool. It was cool to see them. I actually really enjoyed the weasel characters in this film. They were
good villains.
Fun. Yeah, they were good villains that you didn't have to spend a ton of time setting up. Because if you think about it, so I pretty much have already said what the plot of this this first half is. But the weasels are all like the henchmen of the tavern owner, which I don't know. I don't remember his name at all. And they have to go get the deed because he's, of course, being very cliche bad guy, and he's sleeping with the deed, just kind of sticking out of his pocket. Yeah, it's so like cliche.
Classic.
It's like, wouldn't you put that in like a safe or something? Or...
You put it in the safe with the almanac, and if a wild-haired scientist or a young punk kid ever shows up, you take care of them.
You take care of them. Just really simple. But wait. We're confusing multiple Robert Zemeckis films and together. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that.
Anyways, you were saying the weasels, the tavern owner.
But the weasels were just a lot of fun to watch, even though they didn't have a lot of time to introduce it because it was such a drastic shift. It was, like I said, it was the whole like, hey, he wants to drive the car. Hey, now it's a courtroom drama. Hey, now we have to get the tavern, the deed back from the tavern owner. And it shifts so quickly. And it's not until then that I guess the weasels were briefly introduced during the courtroom segment. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when they flash back and talk about the circumstances of buying the car.
Right. So, but it's still like there's no real introduction to him, and then all of a sudden, here's 1,000 weasels, and it's a really good. I really liked the end of Win in the Willows. Like that was that sequence. That was the fun part.
The action sequence. It was reminiscent of. I had said Bongo had a really great end sequence as well in terms of the action and the excitement of a third act battle, and the weasel section. Great. Fun gag after gag animation style.
I would like to point out that during the sequence, it's revealed that Mole is actually a vampire because he crashes headfirst into a giant mirror on the wall. He had no reflection,
wasn't it? Was it a mirror or was it a framed picture?
Because it broke and you saw like wood behind it, so I took that as a mirror.
Oh my God.
Mole is a vampire, TC.
Mole's a vampire.
That was the one thing I took away. That's what I took away from the short was Mole was a vampire. I got nothing else besides that for the short.
That's why he's the best. Well, okay, I have three other notes. First of all, this is a Christmas movie.
It is. And that moment when it becomes Christmas time and there's snow on the ground and then they're seeing him in the tower locked away, I immediately started thinking of A Christmas Carol. Like I was like, it's an animated Christmas Carol. That's what this is.
Which is one of the only other appearances of Disney's Toad. Mr. Toad is in Mickey's Christmas Carol.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh man, I forgot about that.
So two other things of note about this: we have another horse sidekick.
That is true.
We have
and this
Cyril.
one talks.
Yes.
He talks and he sings and he has a personality. I mean, he has a personality, and that threw me for a loop. TC, I don't know if you don't know this. I am not used to horse sidekicks being able to talk.
Oh, yeah. I guess that would be a thing you'd have to deal with. I hope you made through it okay.
I mean, it was tough. It was weird. I had to sit down and I had to talk about it with somebody for a little while because I didn't know how to handle this, TC. It's so drastically different.
Well, I'm glad you overcame Cyril, the talking horse sidekick.
I did, because you know why? You know what made me overcome it a lot easier? Ichabod's horse sidekick didn't talk. I felt a lot better. Put me right back into the world again. I felt okay. I felt all was right with the world.
Gunpowder the horse is his name.
And that is a more traditional Disney horse sidekick because he doesn't talk, but he still has a personality.
Yep. Bron has a horse sidekick too named Daredevil. So there's 3 horse sidekicks in this movie.
Yep. I mean, you could actually argue, if we're going to go there, you could also argue that the Headless Horseman has a horse sidekick.
Well, that begs the question if the Headless Horseman is Braun or not.
Oh, that's a good point. That is a good point.
But there's one other thing I want to give Disney some credit for here. Mm-hmm. This is a joke that they didn't do, that not Disney, but maybe Disney, depends on, DreamWorks would not have passed up this opportunity. And when Rats and Mole try to stop Mr. Toad, they grab him, he jumps out of his pants, he jumps onto Cyril, and he's racing away in his underoos, which have a trap door on the butt that does not open. It does not flop open while he's flying away, right? Yep. Come on, Jeff. Let's be honest. Any DreamWorks or Illumination or Blue Sky would definitely have had that trapdoor flop open and show that Toad's butt.
Exactly. His butt would have been flop. That's a good point. You know what? I did not realize that while watching the movie, but that is a gag that would have happened nowadays.
Yep.
Any excuse to see the butts of our protagonists, movie studios will take. So,
Jeff, butts are funny.
Butts are funny. That's what made everybody laugh in Back to the Future Part 3. We saw Marty's butt. Sorry.
We'll just let that linger for a moment.
We'll just let that one linger for a second and pretend that it wasn't awkward.
Or maybe it's time we switch subject matters here and talk about the other fine story. Everything's fine over there in Britain. But let's talk about an American story. That's
back here in the States.
That's actually a Dutch story. That's one of the most famous Dutch stories, written by a guy who wrote the other famous Dutch story, Rip Van Winkle.
And who had never set foot in America by the time he wrote this. It's all made up. It was kind of crazy. So I will say this: it's a weird pairing. It's a weird pairing to have Mr. Toad and then the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, because it's kind of this goofy weird thing for Mr. Toad, and then we go into Sleepy Hollow, which ultimately is a scary story, it's dramatic, scary. It doesn't seem like these are the two films that would be butted up against each other. Because with Bongo and then Mickey and the Beanstalk, those are both fairly comedic stories that they're paired together. This is like, it's the opposite side of the spectrum. And it was weird.
It's just, what do we have done? What do we got? We got this and we got this. I thought I remember reading somewhere that one of these was intended for an earlier package, and they decided it wasn't ready. It might have been Sleepy Hollow or Mr. Toad and Mickey. I don't know.
Okay.
But
that makes sense.
Regardless of what they wanted to do, this is what we ended up getting. And there's no connection between these two.
No, there's absolutely not.
Other than the fact that the main characters of the two stories are both kind of jerks.
They're both kind of jerks, and that's the thing. That kind of comes to the question that I wanted to ask. I told you I had one question. Basically, is Ichabod a bad guy? He is. He's a thief. He's not interested in. At first he gets his eye is caught by Katrina, but then when he's fantasizing about being with her, he's fantasizing about all her wealth. Right.
And think of all the Disney villains you can think of. Greed is like one of the main motivators of a slew of Disney villains. Think of Pinocchio. If we go to Pinocchio, all the villains in there are motivated by greed.
Mm-hmm. So basically what we have is Ichabod kind of comes off or doesn't kind of, he does. He comes off as a villain, as a bad guy, like you said, for him fantasizing about Katrina's wealth and wanting that for himself. And I'm sorry, I can't think of the bad guy's name, or what is quote unquote Braun, who is very much so Gaston from Beauty and the Beast.
This is the only thing stopping him from being Gaston is that he openly shares stuff with characters. He's showing off when he rides into town, jumping over the table, but he cracks open the beer and he gives it drinks to everybody, and he gives drinks to the animals. That's the only thing separating Gaston and Brom here, is that Brom he's a nice nicer guy, I guess.
Right.
But everyone in this is a jerk. Even Katrina's a jerk because she's enjoying these two guys fighting over her.
It's such a weird, like, change in what Disney films tend to be. I mean, because they could have very easily. Now, I know, like, this is actually fairly faithful to the short story.
Yes.
Unlike like pretty much every other iteration of the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, which is just so drastically not the story. But like, I'm a fan of the Sleepy Hollow story, the Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, certainly, yeah.
I've always kind of just dug it. It's a great ghost story because I like that it kind of leaves it open as to, well, what was the what was the Headless Horseman? Was that real? But yeah, like it's so crazy to think like that Brahm is actually more of a good guy than Ichabod. Like Ichabod, who is our main character, who gets, I guess, kind of gets his comeuppance at the end. Yeah.
He's greedy. He uses people for food. There's a really interesting iteration of Ichabod in the comic book series Fables, which I 100%. I recommended Bone last week. I'm recommending Fables this week, but Ichabod is villainous. He's not a powerful villain in terms if you think of like the magic of the evil witch or the evil hunter who kills Bambi's mom or what's another any of the gentlemen aside from Geppetto in Pinocchio. But Ichabod is he's a bad guy.
And you know what? It's so crazy because like this is the first time that I really saw that in this short while watching it. Like I guess, like I said, I've seen this countless times in the past. I've always kind of saw that he was never, like there's little things like the fact, like we said, like him wanting Katrina's wealth, but that never like really clicked in my head of that he's exhibiting the bad guy nature. And it was so fascinating to look at the rest of the short because I realized that. Well, actually, I realized that right after he had fantasized about the wealth. And so watching the last half of it, I'm sitting there just watching it in these new eyes of like, oh, so you're the bad guy.
He's getting what he deserves.
Yeah, you get what you deserve. And like it just a whole new light on the entire short.
It does make the movie itself unique, especially this section, that we would follow the adventures of a villain. And I don't know if that was the intention, that if maybe they thought they had to have known they were telling the story of a jerk who gets what he deserves.
But they tell it so well. I mean,
they do. There's some really crafty writing in this script. The setting up of the superstitions of Ichabod right out of the gate. When he's walking, he won't go under the ladder. He diverts the black cat so that his paranoia and superstition later comes into effect with his fear of the Headless Horseman. And they're finding the horseshoe that saves him from getting hit by Bronn. There's some fun little plotting and foreshadowings through the course of the short film with all this superstition. So it's a very well told story. This really is a very well told story, and so much so that I wish this one was feature length as well, because there's enough characters here that you could tell an animated. It would be a shorter. I think you probably could hit the 100-minute mark, or maybe even the 90-minute mark, because I don't know just how much more story you could tell. But developing Katrina, developing her father, developing more of the townsfolk, having some fun with the rivalry between Ichabod and Brahm. This is a very ripe story, and the way it's presented here is very well done. I'm not disappointed there isn't more. I can see that there could be more.
Right, which is more than we've been able to say for some of the other shorts in these package films. Obviously not for Bongo or for Making the Beanstalk. Both of those you could easily see as being full length films, and actually we If you listen to the previous episodes, we recommended that they needed to be feature-length films.
Yeah.
But this short, this one is so, and it's so pretty to look at too. There's so much like just well animated. I've always loved the imagery of when Ichabod looks up. So when he's riding back at the end before the Headless Horseman shows up, and he looks up at the moon, and the hands, like, the hand cloud is like covering the moon. Like, I love that imagery so much. And then the entire sequence of when he's getting frightened by like the everyday things, and he's like, just terrified of like what he thinks his horse is, but it's just reeds pounding against like a trunk, like a tree trunk. Just that all that imagery that happens in that sequence is so well done and so great to watch.
I'm gonna bet that Disney got complaints that this was too frightening for children. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and bet that they did.
I would not be surprised, because you know what? If you did not know what the legend of the Sleepy Hollow, if you did not know what that story was going into this, first off, again, coming off Mr. Toad, then that's just kind of a light, upbeat, lighthearted story. You go into this, the first half of this is about a guy who falls in love with this girl, more or less.
It's up until the actual Headless Horseman attack. This movie is light and silly. And going so far as fact, I wrote a note here. The song of the Headless Horseman that Brahms sings is way too upbeat for what follows.
It's like this huge, just like misdirect.
It's super dark, though. The lyrics of that song are really messed up. But to have Bing Crosby singing it with such a fancy tune, it does not. It's a really weird juxtaposition to go from that to the attack. Like, literally, you can see the exact moment in the movie where it goes from this was the fun adventure of Ichabod, and now here's the horror story. The tone just shifts on a dime.
Which, when you think about it, that makes the scary part more scary, like just that much more scary, because it's like, where's this coming from? We were just having so much fun. Yeah, exactly. Oh, it was all fun and games, and now all of a sudden it's all scary and creepy and terrifying, and what's happening? And oh no, there's monsters. Like, it actually it works. It makes the scary part so much scarier because you weren't expecting that to be coming. That's not where you thought this was going.
Is this a Halloween story? Since we got
see, I would automatically put it in the Halloween category because of the whole, it's a ghost story.
Right. But there's nothing in it that inherently says, and then on Halloween, blah, 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 blah.
Right. It's one of those where it's like, I guess I was going to use Die Hard as an example of a Christmas movie that's not mentioned as a Christmas movie. I guess you could argue it's in the same vein as that. As Die Hard, where Die Hard does take place during Christmas, yes. And it just oftentimes feels referred to as a Christmas.
Yeah, and so this Sleepy Hollow it's the pumpkin, like the flaming jack-o'-lantern makes it feel like Halloween. It's just another weird thing about this is that you have a Christmas movie in Mr. Toad and then a Halloween movie in this Sleepy Hollow segment.
It's very seasonal,
Yeah.
I also do like
the original Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, where's Jack? I do like to think that
Jack is Ichabod.
Before he died.
There's the fan theory, ladies and gentlemen. We just decided it right here. That's why Jack Skellington is the Pumpkin King, because he was murdered by a pumpkin.
Who I like to think probably showed up in Halloween Town at some point, or in the world, and then was like, "Hey man, I'm sorry I killed you." And Jack was like, "That's not fair to me, but I am now the king of pumpkins." Thank you. And he's secretly like the Headless Horseman is secretly like realizing that now he's no longer the head of head of pumpkins. That's funny in some weird, not funny world. But sorry.
That's all right.
I sometimes laugh at my own jokes. They're entertaining.
Those are the funniest jokes. A man who can laugh at himself will never cease to be amused.
I laugh at myself constantly. I am pretty ridiculous when you think about it. Anyways, random wild tangent. We'll go back to the film. So between these two of them then, TC, between Mr. Toad and the Sleepy Hollow one, is there one that you liked better?
I prefer the Sleepy Hollow one. It feels more complete. It didn't leave me wanting in a bad way. It left me wanting in a good way. Whereas Mr. Toad, it fell short in a lot of respects, and it has a lot to do with not being able to develop those characters as thoroughly as they should be developed. And Ichabod and Bron and all the jerks, including Katrina, are developed in enough of a fashion that it feels more complete. So.
I agree. I agree with everything that you said.
Oh, good,
well, was there anything else that you want to discuss about for these two films before we kind of move on? This might be a little shorter of an episode today. We'll see.
No, that's fine. There is something that you or maybe the listeners can help me with, or it may take us several, if not dozens of movies till we finally answer this question.
Okay.
During the dance, the banquets, right, when Katrina invites Ichabod and Bron and they dance and whatnot.
The frolic that they were invited to, which I would love to go to a frolic someday.
I would love to go to a frolic.
Continue.
Brom dances with a short, chubby, black-haired woman. Okay, and the way her hair is cut, it's got a split, and you can see one of her eyes. That character comes back. I know I've seen that design again, not just in this. And as soon as she popped in, it was not my memory of this movie that was being recalled. Her design specifically looks so damn familiar. She must come up in another movie.
Is it in Alice in Wonderland?
I don't.
It's not the woman though, isn't it? Is it not like another character that resembles that briefly?
Yeah, that. I just honestly feel like that exact hairdo, that shape of a character is going to not the Queen of Hearts, if that's where you're going, because that's not. Yeah. So I'm putting it out there now. I'm planting the seed now so that later, because I thought maybe you'd go, oh yeah, it's in such and such, but certainly you are not responding that way. So I'm putting it here now so that when she comes back, I can go, I knew it.
No, and I know what you're talking about, because now that you bring it up, oh man, she does look familiar. She
looks so familiar. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there now. So if that's all I have to say about either of these two movies, I like these. I like them. They're fine. The Toad section is fine. The Sleepy Hollow section is much, much better. And this it's all right. I don't think it's necessary to watch this as a whole. I think you could just seek out the Sleepy Hollow section and find a lot of enjoyment in it. And unless you have some sort of weird love for Wind in the Willows, the Toad section is pretty forgettable in the long run.
Yeah, which is unfortunate, but you know what? Hey, man's got a ride.
Yeah.
So, okay, he's got something out of this, and that's it's weird. It's weird because Mr. Toad is probably more well known as for the ride, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, than his film, than his actual film.
I will do a little fantasy editing here. The only thing that would have helped Mr. Toad's Wild Ride is if Honest John had been the one who ripped him off.
See, again, a perfect spot for Honest John, because this is supposed to be over. Yeah, that would be so much better.
Yeah, just having him as the barkeep or involved somehow in the ripping off Mr. Toad. It worked. He's an anthropomorphic animal in a world that has both talking animals and humans. He'd fit right in there.
He would. Oh, that'd be so perfect.
So I'm curious to see what the listeners might have to say about this film, whether you have memories of it or if you gave it a rewatch. That's if you enjoy it, you can always comment below on the Facebook page, or if you want to Twitter pate at us, you can at TC's Big Head, at Random Bell. But yeah, I'm curious to see how how you people respond to this. You people.
How you people? What do you mean, you people, TC?
Yeah,
I'm right here next to you.
It's further credit to Sleepy Hollow for being as good as it is and being so out of season, because it so much feels like a Halloween story.
Yep. And that's why I like it. I'm a fan of Halloween. I can't help myself. But
so what do you got over there?
Well, so I did want to say this. There was one thing besides the anthropomorphic horse sidekicks, which we've already discussed.
Yes, I will name them again.
Yes.
We had Cyril from Toad, and Gunpowder is Ichabod's character, and Daredevil is Brahms' horse.
So those are our Disney tropes. I do have a first.
Oh, Disney! Can I throw in another trope real quick?
Yes, please do.
Reused animation.
Oh, what was the reused animation this time?
When the horror story section is beginning, there's some reeds being blown through that are not the ones that are not the cattails that are bouncing on the log. There's some overturned reeds that are having wind blow through them. Those are the reeds from the old mill that I mistook for reeds from Bambi, but that is reused animation.
Fantastic. See, that's what you're here for, TC. You're here for pointing out all the reused animation.
There you go.
I noticed if I and now please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty certain I'm not, that this would be a first. The first is the short, robust, hairy father of a young, beautiful love interest of our main character.
You're right. That is quite the standard, isn't it?
Yep. Katrina's dad is very much so the cliche father figure of our... Yep.
Mustachioed roly-poly.
Exactly. You have Belle's father from Beauty and the Beast like that. I'm naming more recent ones just because that's all I know off the top of my head. Aladdin. You have the Sultan of Jasmine's dad is like that. Very traditionally that type of a character.
We're about to see him again in the next movie, actually, but we'll get there.
See, I was really excited when I realized that one, but yeah, that would be a new first here.
The roly-poly father.
The roly-poly father. It makes him lovable. Unless you're Ichabod, when you're just like, I want your farm. I want your farmhouse barn that's going to explode like Scrooge McDuck's fortune bank thing. It's just so much gold came out of that. Hi, even. So
very good.
But yeah. So TC, I have a question for you.
Oh, okay, cool. Fire away.
Where would you put this on your list of movies?
Oh, you rascal.
Now, for those of you who missed last time, we explained this. We've decided to break up these films by 10 film increments. So instead of us doing a list of 56 movies and having to rank every movie in a single list, we're breaking it up into lists of 10.
Right.
So we've already ranked the first 10 movies. And that would be on the Facebook page. You can see our note. I'm going to keep this updated every time we do a new 10. So this time we are starting technically a new list of 1 to 10. TC, where do you put this on that list?
Oh, it's a struggle, but I'm going to have to go ahead and make it number 1.
Oh, man. Just going to bust it out. I'm going to make it number 6. Because I'm going to put it right number 6. Right.
Okay.
Right number 6.
Good start. Yep.
No, so this will be our number 1. It'll be interesting once we hit. I have a really strong feeling this is not going to stay at number 1 for very long.
No, I completely agree. I do not imagine this lasting very long.
Considering it is the last of our package films, and we're entering into a series of classic Disney films.
Some serious classic Disney is coming up here. As much as we had Pinocchio, Snow White, and Bambi as the 3 classics from the first round, this second round, we're gonna hit 9. I think I don't have the list in front of me. I know what the next one is, but we got a good thing coming. So
we have a really good thing coming, and it's gonna be. It's actually, I feel like it's gonna be very hard to rank these films because of where we're at. I think it was a little easier for the first 10, just because we had a lot of the package films. This next 10 is gonna be ridiculous.
I am happy to see us say goodbye to this era of Disney.
I am too, and I'm feeling a little melancholy right now, a little sad, because I'm like, it was such a part of our life for so long, TC.
Well, I have a question, a tweet from a listener now this isn't fair. I'm taking the tweet we got last week and asking it again. So last week we were asked if we would want to remake any of the package segments we'd seen, or if we want to see a live action version of any of them. I will say, though Wind in the Willows is a ripe novel and series of novels that has lots of material to draw from, I don't think you could remake it. It's just too old world, and I don't think that lends itself very well to a current sensibility of what we want from cartoons and whatnot.
Okay. That makes sense.
But I really enjoy the Tim Burton live action Sleepy Hollow quite a bit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I'm like, because I would agree. I would love like a live action remake of the Sleepy Hollow portion, but then I realized that's pretty much the Tim Burton version. Like,
yeah, it's now it takes liberties because Ichabod is an investigator as opposed to a school teacher, but it's the aesthetics of it, the capturing. It's one of Tim Burton's finer films. I criticize Tim Burton quite a bit for his Tim Burtonisms, but when he's like in the right wheelhouse, he nails it. And Sleepy Hollow is a perfect example of a movie that I couldn't imagine someone else directing it because it's so perfect for him.
It's so perfect because of the dark tones, the style. It's not fully realistic. It's almost a little like just a little more than reality, and it's just because it's a story about a guy with no head, like and going along those same lines when you were making a comment earlier about how like the Sleepy Hollow story has the material to be expanded on, but we wouldn't know what it would be. The Tim Burton Sleepy Hollow is pretty much what it would be. You would give more backstory to the female love interest, which he did more or less, and you would have Brom be a more predominant figure who would probably continuously would have a couple run-ins or teases to Ichabod about the Headless Horseman, which they do in the Sleepy Hollow. Yep. So you see like that's where you would go with the story. Plus, it's a hard R. There's a lot of there's a lot of decapitations in those movies. Holy cow.
Is it an R-rated movie?
It is an R-rated film.
All right.
Because of the violence. Because there's a lot of people's getting their heads chopped off. Like a lot of rolling heads through the oh man, it's so good though. Such a great film. That's one of my go-to Halloween movies as well.
Yeah. So that answers one of our tweets from last week, and
yes.
I anticipated this one being able to answer it this week because of Sleepy Hollow.
Yep.
So yeah, I'll plug again if you do want to tweet at us. Twitter page, gotta keep that going. At Random Bell.
That was like what, episode 2? Like we started that episode 3?
No, it's from Bambi. Was
it Bambi? Okay, that's right. That's right. I couldn't remember when we started that.
Facebook.com/ what is it?
Top Shelf.
Top Shelf Pod. Top Shelf Pod.
There you go. I'm gonna let you do it. I'm not gonna interrupt you. I don't want to do it. Yes, and I'm hoping now, like I said, like I've made this comment before. Now that next week we are hitting in more of the classic films, I'm really hoping that we can start having some more conversations with everybody and talking to them about more stuff and having more questions. Again, I understand these package films. I'm going to say package like 12 more times just to get it out of my system.
Get it out of your system.
Package. I'm going to introduce next week's episode as the package film Cinderella.
Oh God!
You thought we were done. We are not.
Is this episode as short as it is because we are so eager to move on? Or have we said everything that needed to be said?
Truthfully, in all fairness, we went through all the notes I had, and we've been kind of riffing for the last 10 minutes, DC. I think it is. I think we've reached the point in these package films where we want to get back to the full length single narrative stories. Yeah. And also, what was there to really talk about for these two films? We saw a heavily condensed version of the stories, but not in a way that was bad or confusing. It was just, that's what the story would be if it was told as a half hour short. It is what it is, yeah. So what do we have? What do we have next week? All right, everybody, this is very exciting. Next week is the 1950 film Cinderella.
We've done it. We've made it to a movie some of you have heard of.
I know. Myself included. No, the 1950 Cinderella film, which, man, I couldn't tell you the last time I watched Cinderella. I mean,
good. This will be good then. If you were too fresh on it, then it would affect your viewing of it. And now, having been so departed from it, it'll make for some good conversation. So I'm excited to get to that one and move on down the library. So
move on down the library. We hit 1950. Now we're in the 50s, TC. We're in the 50s. We're away from the war. We're going to go through a whole new time in America. We actually start having more gaps between films after Alice in Wonderland. Because these ones that we've been watching were like one a year. Like it was year after year. And now we're hitting like Cinderella, which is 50, and then Alice in Wonderland is 51, and after that's like 53 and 56 and 59 and 60. Like we start jumping years.
They start taking time developing these things before they release them, which is something that John Lasseter, who's in charge of Disney Animation now, is so good at. That he, unless it's absolutely necessary that they finalize a film, he will postpone it. The Gigantic has been in development for years and years because it's just not ready. Frozen was an example of that too, where it was like, let's continue to develop this. But that's neither here nor there. That's a conversation for another day. Yep, and that day is not today. hence it being for another day. But anyways, we'll be back again next week with Cinderella, and we'll definitely post information on the Facebook page to get your guys' feedback, questions, comments, memories of Cinderella too. We'd like to. I want to bring that section back too. So anything you have, any thoughts you have about the movie, please do leave a comment. And again, leave any comments you had about this week's. Maybe there was something we missed. TC's really good at responding to people's comments. I try to. Yes. I see them, and then I see TC's already responded, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't need to respond now, I guess. Bases covered. All right, but I think that's it for this week, everyone. So, indeed. Jeff, it's been a pleasure. TC, it's always a pleasure when I get to talk to you about Disney movies. Well, I thank you for letting me go on and on like I do, and I think I'm ready to go take a nap. Bing Crosby was always on the verge of sleeping anytime he could. I can swear. I'm almost certain halfway through The Little Drummer Boy with David Bowie, he was asleep. All right, everybody. All right, thanks for listening. Bye, everybody. Bye, everyone. This has been a production of Ghost Hat Media, proud member of the Ghost Hat Network. Find them online at www.ghosthat.net. I like the ending.